The darkness did not descend all at once. It was a slow creep, a gradual twilight that you almost did not notice, until one day you looked up for the familiar comfort of the horizon, and it was gone. It had vanished, swallowed by a thick, impenetrable fog of sorrow and a starless, moonless night of the soul. The path you were on, once so clear, disappeared into the gloom. The future you were walking toward, once a bright and visible destination, dissolved into an oppressive, shapeless void. You have been living in this night for a long time now. Your eyes have adjusted to the gloom, and you have forgotten the vibrant colors of the day. Your life has become a matter of survival, of navigating by the dim, unreliable light of your own memory, of trying not to stumble over the unseen obstacles that litter your path. The cold of a deep, inner winter has seeped into your bones, and the warmth of the sun is a distant, almost unbelievable memory. And in this long and lonely night, the voices had come to you, the voices of the world, the whispers of the enemy, and the exhausted, broken voice of your own heart have all begun to sing the same bleak and logical lullaby of despair. The sun has set on your life. They sing. This is your reality now. There's no morning coming. The light has been extinguished. This darkness is your final and permanent home. And you, my child, weary from the struggle, you have begun to believe them. You have wrapped the darkness around you like a shroud and have prepared to live out the remainder of your days in a state of perpetual twilight. You have accepted the verdict of the night, but you have been listening to the fearful whispers of the night dwellers, the creatures of cynicism and despair who are comfortable in the shadows and are terrified of the light. You have forgotten who I am. You have forgotten that I am the one who first said, "Let there be light." And the light obeyed. You have forgotten that I am the one who set the sun and the moon in their courses, and who appointed the boundaries for the darkness. You see an endless night. I see a night that has almost run its course. You see a permanent, suffocating fog. I see the morning mist that is about to be burned away by the glory of a rising sun. You have believed the report of the shadows. I am here today to give you the report of the dawn, for the long, dark night of your soul is ending, and the horizon is bright for you. To understand the beauty of the coming dawn, we must first honor the reality of the night you have endured. I do not dismiss your darkness. I have been in it with you, my hand upon your shoulder, even when you could not feel it. Let us speak of this darkness, for it has many forms. There has been the darkness of grief. This is a heavy, weighted blackness, the color of profound loss. It is the darkness that descends when a loved one is taken, when a dream dies, when a part of your own heart is amputated. In this darkness, all the colors of the world are leached away. Joy seems like a foreign language. Laughter sounds like a cruel mockery. This darkness is a necessary and holy place of mourning, but the enemy has tried to convince you that it is a tomb, a place you will never escape. There has been the fog of confusion. This is a disorienting, featureless gray. It is the darkness that comes when the map of your life has been rendered useless, the career path that disappeared, the faith that has become a tangle of questions, the future that is a complete and utter blank. In this fog, you cannot see the way forward. Every direction looks the same. To take a step is to risk falling into an unseen ravine, and so you have been paralyzed, unable to move, your life stalled in a thick, gray cloud of uncertainty. There has been the chilling cold of fear. The night is the natural habitat of fear. When you cannot see, your other senses are heightened, and your mind begins to populate the darkness with monsters. You have been tormented by the what-ifs. You have been haunted by the ghosts of your past failures and terrified by the imagined demons of your future. This fear is a cold that seeps into the very marrow of your bones, leaving you in a state of constant, low-grade anxiety, a shivering of the soul that never ceases. And there has been the profound isolation of the night. In the darkness, it feels as though you are the only person awake in the entire universe. You look out at the lighted windows of other people's lives, and it seems as though they are all living in a warmth and a brightness that you are excluded from. You have felt unseen, unknown, and utterly alone in your suffering. This loneliness is perhaps the cruelest aspect of the long night. This extended season of darkness has played tricks on your perception. It has given you a night vision that is profoundly flawed in the darkness. Shapes are magnified and distorted. A small worry, when viewed through the lens of the night, becomes a terrifying, monstrous certainty of doom. A minor setback becomes an insurmountable obstacle. The darkness has been a magnifying glass for everything you fear, and a diminishing glass for everything you hope for. In the darkness, time itself is distorted. An hour of suffering in the night feels longer than a week of joy in the day. The night stretches on, and you have lost all sense of proportion. You have been in this night for a season, but it feels like an eternity. And so you have begun to believe that it is an eternity. The darkness has lied to you about the very nature of time, convincing you that your present state is a permanent one, and the darkness has distorted your memory. It has begun to convince you that the sun was never real. You look back at the times of light and joy in your past, and they seem like a distant, faded dream, a story that happened to someone else. The intense reality of your present suffering has begun to erase the memory of my past goodness. This is one of the enemy's most cunning strategies, to use your present pain to sever you from the history of my faithfulness. But I am the Lord of both the day and the night. And I was not absent during your long night. I was at work. As I have told you before, this season of darkness has had a sacred purpose. It has been a divine seedbed, just as a seed must be buried in the dark, cold earth to germinate and grow deep roots. So I have used your season of darkness to do a deep and foundational work in your soul. In the darkness, you have been forced to grow roots of trust that are not dependent on what you can see. In the darkness, you have learned a deeper reliance on me. This has been a season of unseen but essential growth, and I am the one who has set the boundaries for the night. At the dawn of creation, I spoke, and I separated the light from the darkness, and I gave the darkness its appointed time. The darkness is not sovereign. It is under my command. It cannot overstay its welcome by a single second. The darkness heard my decree then, and it still obeys my voice now. And I'm here today to tell you that the appointed time for your night is coming to its end. And I have been with you, your faithful watchman in the night, while you slept the fitful sleep of the sorrowful. I was awake. I was keeping vigil over your soul. I was standing guard at the perimeter of your life, protecting you from the truly destructive terrors of the night that you never even saw. I have been with you, a quiet, steady, and light-filled presence in the very heart of your darkness. So I'm not asking you today to deny the reality of the night you have been in. It has been real. It has been long. It has been painful. I am not asking you to pretend that it was not hard. I am simply asking you to believe me when I tell you that the morning is coming. I want you to stop listening to the whispers of the night dwellers. They are liars, and their father is the father of lies. They are trying to convince you to make your home in a cave. When I have built you a palace in the sun, I am now inviting you to listen for a new sound. It is a sound that always precedes the dawn. It is the first, tentative chirping of a single bird, the one who is brave enough to sing while it is still dark, because it has an innate, God-given knowledge that the sun is on its way. That sound is my voice, speaking to you now. I am the first bird of the morning in your soul. I am singing a song of hope into your darkness. I am announcing that a shift is happening in the spiritual atmosphere of your life. The darkest hour, my beloved, is always the hour just before the dawn. And I tell you, as the one who commands the morning, the darkness is beginning to fade. The horizon is about to appear and is bright for you. You are standing in the pre-dawn stillness, my beloved, with the first faint song of hope beginning to stir in your spirit. You have heard the promise of the coming morning, and your heart, so long accustomed to the cold of the night, is beginning to dare to believe in the possibility of warmth again. The authority of my voice has challenged the permanence of your darkness. But even as you hold on to this new hope, the memory and the meaning of the night itself still linger, shrouded in pain and confusion. A great and honest question rises from your soul, my Lord, my God. I want to believe in the dawn, but why the night? Why the long, desolate, and seemingly endless season of darkness? What was the point of the fear, the confusion, the profound and aching loneliness if the horizon is to be bright? Why did my journey have to pass through such an oppressive darkness? This is the question of purpose, and you deserve an answer. For without a new understanding of your night, you will always carry a fear of its return, and you will never fully appreciate the glory of the coming day. You have seen the darkness as a tomb, a place where your dreams, your joy, and your very life went to die. You have seen it as a sign of my absence, a punishment, a meaningless and cruel chapter in your story. But my child, you have been looking with the eyes of the surface. I, the God of the deep places, I see things differently. What you have called a tomb, I call a sacred seedbed. You thought you were being buried. The truth is, you were being planted. For there are certain kinds of divine growth, the most essential and foundational kinds. That could only happen in the dark. The bright, glorious light of the day is for the blossom and the fruit, but the dark, silent, and hidden earth is for the seed and for the roots. Your long night, as painful as it has been, was not a wasted season. It was your most crucial season of growth. It was a season of the sacred work that is done in the dark. Let me tell you of the work that has been happening within you, deep beneath the surface of your awareness, during this long and holy night. First, the darkness was necessary for the germination of a new identity. A seed, in order to live, must first die. It must be placed in the darkness. And the hard, protective outer shell that has defined its entire existence must crack open and fall away, so that the tender, new life within can emerge before the season of darkness. You were that seed. Your identity was your hard outer shell. It was your strength, your accomplishments, your relationships, your understanding of the world. It was a good shell. It protected you, but it was also confining you. And the new, resurrected life I had planned for you could not emerge as long as you were still living inside that old, limited identity. The darkness of your trial was the holy soil in which I planted you. And the pressures of that darkness, the loss, the failure, the confusion they caused your old shell to crack. Your self-reliance cracked. Your pride cracked. Your dependence on the approval of others cracked. It felt like you were dying. It felt like you were falling apart. And in a sense, you were your old self. The self you thought you were had to die. And in that dark, painful, and hidden place of germination, a new identity has begun to take root. It is an identity that is not based on your own strength, but on your dependence on me. It is an identity that is not based on your performance, but on your belovedness. This new, tender shoot of your true self. Your identity in me is still fragile, but it is real. And it could only have been born in the death of the old, which could only have happened in the sacred darkness. Next, the darkness was the classroom for the growth of deep roots. When a seed germinates, it does two things. It sends a shoot upward toward the unseen light, and it sends roots downward in search of the unseen water and in the wisdom of my creation. The roots must always grow first, and they must grow deeper than the shoot grows high. A tall plant with shallow roots is a plant that will be destroyed by the first strong wind or the first dry season. Your season of darkness has been your season of root growth. In the light, when my blessings are visible, when my voice is clear. It is easy to have a shallow, surface-level faith, but I love you too much to give you a faith that is destined to fail. And so I have led you into the darkness, into a spiritual drought where there were no visible signs of my presence, no sensible feelings of my love, no refreshing rains of answered prayer. And in that darkness, you are forced to make a choice. You could either wither and die, or you could begin to send your spiritual roots down deeper in a desperate search for the hidden water source. Your faith, your trust, had to go deeper than your feelings. It had to go deeper than your circumstances. It had to bypass the dry, cracked topsoil of your own understanding. And it had to push down, 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 until it finally tapped into the deep. underground river of my unshakable, unchanging character. You have learned in this darkness to trust me not because of what I am doing, but because of who I am. You have learned to trust in my goodness, even when life is bad. You have learned to trust in my love, even when you feel alone. These are the deep roots that will anchor your soul for the rest of your life. The winds of future storms will blow against you, but they will not be able to uproot you. For you are now anchored in a reality that is deeper than the storm. You have hated the drought, but I have used it to make you unshakable. Furthermore, the darkness was the time for the gathering of hidden nutrients. The dark, rich soil is not an empty place. It is teeming with life, full of the essential minerals and nutrients that a plant needs to grow strong and to eventually bear fruit. But these nutrients are invisible. They are absorbed in the dark, in the secret, unseen work of the roots. Your season of darkness has been a season of profound, though unseen, character formation. In the humility of your darkness, your soul has been absorbing the hidden nutrients of my kingdom. You have absorbed the nutrient of patience, a slow-growing mineral that is almost impossible to find in the bright, fast-paced world of the light. You have absorbed the nutrient of long-suffering, a resilience that is only created when you are forced to endure. You have absorbed the nutrient of compassion, a richness that only comes from the decomposition of your own pride and judgment. You have felt as though you have been unproductive, that you have been wasting time. But I tell you, you have been in the richest soil of your life, absorbing the very character traits that will be necessary for the fruit you are destined to bear. The fruit of my spirit is not a flimsy thing that can be grown overnight. It requires a soul that is rich in these deep, hidden, and hard-won nutrients. And finally, the darkness was an act of my loving protection from premature exposure. You have been so eager to see the sprout. You have been so desperate to break through the ground and into the light. But a tender, young shoot, if it emerges from the soil too soon, is exquisitely vulnerable. It can be eaten by the pests that roam in the twilight. It can be killed by a late, unexpected frost. It can be scorched by the heat of the midday sun for which it is not yet ready. My child, the length of your night has been a measure of my protection over you. I have been keeping you hidden, safe in the darkness of the seedbed, because I knew you were not yet ready. Your new identity was still too fragile. Your roots were not yet deep enough. You had not yet absorbed the nutrients you would need to survive the heat of the day. The day I have planned for you, the bright horizon of your calling, is a day of great brightness, of great visibility. And with that visibility comes a great heat, the heat of opposition, of criticism, of spiritual warfare. To have exposed you to that heat prematurely would have been to destroy you. And so, in my love, I have kept you hidden. Your long night, which has felt like my denial, has been, in fact, my divine incubation. It has been the faithfulness of a master gardener who knows that a forced, premature bloom is a bloom that will not last. Do not look with envy upon those whose lives seem to have sprouted quickly into the light. You do not know the shallow depth of their roots. You do not know their susceptibility to the coming drought. I have given you a different path, a slower path, a darker path, a deeper path, because I'm not interested in creating a life in you that is a quick and impressive spectacle. I am in the business of growing a mighty, ancient oak of righteousness, a tree whose roots go as deep as its branches go high, a tree that will bear fruit for many seasons and will provide shelter for many weary travelers. And such a tree requires a long and hidden season in the dark. So I invite you now to look back at the long, dark night of your soul, not with trauma and shame, but with a new and holy reverence. It was not a tomb. It was a womb. It was not a prison. It was a greenhouse. It was not a waste of time. It was the most essential and productive season of your entire life. The sacred work of the darkness is now complete. The seed of your old self has died. The roots of your new trust have grown deep. The nutrients of my character have been absorbed, and the tender shoot of your new life is now strong and ready, and it is pushing upward, ready to break through the surface of the earth and into the glorious light of a new day. You are resting now in the rich, dark, and fertile soil of my purpose. My beloved, you are beginning to understand that the long, dark night of your soul has not been a tomb, but a sacred seabed, a divine greenhouse where the most essential and foundational work of your life has been taking place. You have made a fragile peace with the darkness, seeing it now not as my absence, but as a necessary part of my mysterious and wonderful process. But I know that even in that purposeful darkness, your soul has cried out for a son. Even as you begin to trust the work of the roots, your spirit has longed for just a single ray of light, a tangible proof that you are not, in fact, forgotten. You have whispered into the blackness, I believe you're working, my God, but oh, how I long for a light. My child, your prayer has not gone unheard, for I have a secret to reveal to you today that will illuminate your past and give you an unshakable confidence for the dawn that is to come. The truth is, you have never been in total darkness, even in the blackest, most starless hour of your long night. There has always been a light shining for you. It was not the blazing, revealing light of the sun, for which your spiritual eyes were not yet ready. It was a quieter, gentler, and more mysterious light. It was the lonely, persistent, and profoundly hopeful light of the morning star. And I, your faithful God, was that star while you were looking for a floodlight. I was present with you as a single, steady flame, while you were longing for the warmth of the day. I was with you as the quiet promise of the coming day. You thought you were in absolute darkness, but I was there all along, a faint but faithful light that you could not always see, but that never, ever stopped shining. Let us speak of the nature of this morning star, for in understanding it, you will understand the nature of my hidden presence in your life. The first purpose of the morning star is to be a divine promise. It does not rise in the evening with the other stars. It appears only in the deepest part of the night. In the hour just before the dawn, it is the celestial herald, the cosmic announcer. Its very presence in the sky is an unbreakable, astronomical guarantee that the night is almost over and that the sun is on its way. My quiet, often imperceptible, presence in your heart during your darkest season has been this promise. It was not a loud, emotional presence that took away your pain, but it was a steady, foundational knowing, deep beneath the turmoil of your feelings, that I was still real, that I was still good. This was the hope you could not explain, the illogical trust that kept you from completely letting go. It was a quiet whisper in your spirit that said, hold on, this is not the end. That, my child, was not your own wishful thinking. That was the light of the morning star. It was my unbreakable promise of the coming dawn, shining steadfastly in the night of your soul. The morning star also serves as a point of divine reference. In the disorienting fog and darkness of your trial, you lost your way. Every direction looked the same. You did not know which way was forward, which was back. But the morning star is a fixed point in the heavens. Ancient mariners, lost on a dark and stormy sea, could find their bearings by this one. Reliable light in the chaos of your confusion, when all your other landmarks had disappeared. I, as the morning star, remained your one fixed point of reference. My character did not change. My love for you did not waver. My truth did not shift. While everything else in your life was being tossed about, I remained constant. And the wisdom you have gained in this season has been the art of learning to navigate by this one. Steady light. You have learned to take your bearings not from your shifting circumstances or your fluctuating feelings, but from the unchangeable reality of who I am. I have been your true north, the fixed point of light that has kept you from being completely lost in the fog. And the light of the morning star is a secret. Intimate light is not a light for the casual observer, the sleeping world, comfortable in its beds, misses it entirely. The sun is a spectacle for the masses. The morning star is a secret for the watchman, for the lonely ones who are awake in the night. My presence with you in this difficult season has been a secret intimacy. The world has not seen it. They have looked at your life and have seen only your darkness, your struggle, even though closest to you may not have fully understood the quiet, sustaining hope that was keeping you alive. This has been a secret between you and me. I have met you in the night, in a way that I could not have met you in the day, in the darkness. You have learned to know me not as the God of the great crowds, but as the God of the lonely heart. You have shared with me a watch in the night, and it has forged a bond, an intimacy between us that the children of the day cannot comprehend. Do not resent the loneliness of your night. It has been the sanctuary for our deepest and most secret friendship. Finally, the light of the morning star is a defiant light. It appears at the very moment the darkness is at its absolute deepest and most triumphant. It is a small, solitary pinprick of light in a universe of black. From a worldly perspective, it is a foolish, hopeless light, easily swallowed by the immensity of the dark. But its power is not in its brightness, but in its defiance. It is a declaration that the darkness does not have the final say. It is a quiet, cosmic act of rebellion against the tyranny of the night. My presence in your life, in this season, has been that defiant. Nevertheless, when the evidence of your despair was overwhelming, nevertheless, I was with you. When the logic of your situation dictated that all was lost, nevertheless, I was working. My quiet hope in your heart has been a holy act of defiance against the loud, bullying voice of your fear. You thought you were holding on to me by a thread. The truth is, my defiant light has been the thread that has been holding on to you. I want you to look back now, not at the darkness of your night, but for the faint, beautiful light of the morning star. I want you to remember, do you remember that day when the waves of panic were about to consume you, and for no reason you can explain, a single, quiet moment of profound peace descended upon your soul? It did not solve your problem, but it gave you the strength to get through the next hour. My child, that was not an anomaly. That was the light of the morning star. Do you remember when you were at the absolute end of your resources, and a stranger said a single, kind word, or a friend sent a small, unexpected gift? That felt like a cup of cold water to a man dying of thirst. I sent them. Their small act of obedience was the refracted light of the morning star, piercing your darkness. Do you remember the night you wept until you had no tears left, and in the exhausted emptiness, a single, beautiful memory of my past faithfulness came to your mind? I brought that memory to you. It was the light of the morning star, reminding you of the sunrises of the past, to give you hope for the sunrise of the future. You have been so focused on the absence of the sun that you have not recognized the faithful, constant presence of the star. Why did I not simply bring the sun sooner? Why the long season of this faint and mysterious light? Because your eyes, having grown so accustomed to the darkness, could not have handled the full, blazing glory of the sun. To have brought the dawn upon you prematurely would have been a painful and blinding experience. You needed a time of gentle transition. The morning star has been that transition. Its gentle, preparatory light has been slowly, lovingly helping your spiritual eyes to adjust. It has been awakening the sleepy parts of your soul. It has been preparing you, strengthening you, getting you ready for the full glory of what is to come. And now, my beloved watchman, our time with the morning star is coming to an end. Its purpose to be a solitary promise, a fixed point of reference, a secret comfort, and a defiant hope in the midst of your darkness has been gloriously fulfilled. Look to it now. In this final hour of the night, see it shining, steadfast and true, and give thanks for its faithful companionship in your long winter. And then, I want you to do something new. I want you to turn your eyes from the star, and I want you to look to the east, for the faint, silvery light of the star is about to be gloriously and completely overwhelmed. A new color is appearing on the edge of the world. A pale, gray line is giving way to a blush of rose and a streak of fire. The air is growing warmer. A new day is being born. The morning star was the promise of the dawn. Now, the dawn itself is upon you. You have kept the long watch with me through the deepest hours of the night. My beloved, you have learned to find comfort in the solitary, faithful light of the morning star, the secret promise of my presence. Its purpose is now fulfilled. The herald has delivered its message. And now, it recedes, its faint light willingly and joyfully swallowed up by a greater glory. For the time of the promise is now giving way to the time of the fulfillment. The long night of your soul is over. The dawn is breaking. Your new day has begun. Turn your face to the east, to the horizon of your life that has been for so long a line of indistinguishable gray. Watch now, with the eyes of your spirit, for I, the Lord of all creation, who commanded the first dawn to break upon a formless world, am now commanding a new dawn to break upon your life. See it now, the first, definitive ray of light. It is a single, sharp, and undeniable spear of gold that pierces the lingering darkness. It is the one event you have been waiting for. It is the phone call you had given up on. It is a sudden, miraculous change in a circumstance that had seemed utterly unchangeable. It is the word of healing that you receive in your spirit. It is the tangible, irrefutable proof that the night is a liar and that your hope was not in vain. This is the first light. The moment your faith becomes sight, and with this first light comes an explosion of color, painting the sky of your soul with a palette you had forgotten existed. I am the divine artist, and this sunrise is my masterpiece, painted just for you. I am painting with the deep, royal purple of your restored dignity. The night of your trial stripped you. It humbled you. It left you feeling shamed and exposed. But the first colors of this new day are the colors of royalty. I am robbing you now in a new honor. The shame of your past is being swallowed up by the dignity of your identity as my beloved child. Where you were once looked down upon, you will now be looked up to, not because of your own merit, but because of the beautiful, royal colors of my grace, with which I am now painting your life. I am painting with the fiery, passionate orange of your new purpose. The darkness left you feeling cold, aimless, and apathetic. But this new dawn is not a pale, watery light. It is a vibrant, energetic, and fiery sunrise. I am breathing new life into your spirit. I am rekindling the embers of the dreams you thought were dead. A new passion, a new vision, a new sense of holy purpose is rising in you with the sun. You will feel an energy you have not felt in years, a desire to create, to build, to serve. The season of mere survival is over. The season of passionate, purposeful living has begun. I am painting with the soft, healing pink of new and restored relationships. The night was a time of profound isolation, but the light brings with it the warmth of connection. In this new day, I am bringing new people into your life, people who will see you, understand you, and celebrate you. And I am bringing a healing light to the relationships that were strained and broken in the darkness. The light of my love will melt the frozen ground of old hurts and unforgiveness. And new, tender shoots of reconciliation and intimacy will begin to grow. The lonely winter of your soul is ending, and the gentle, relational spring is arriving, and I'm painting with the brilliant, shimmering gold of my manifest favor. You have lived for so long in a state of lack, a feeling that you are under a curse, but the sunrise brings with it the undeniable color of my goodness. This is the season where I will open the windows of heaven and pour out upon you a blessing that you do not have room enough to contain. It will be a favor that is visible, tangible, and obvious to all. It will be the open doors, the unexpected provision, the supernatural success that can only be explained by the fact that the hand of the living God is upon your life. The world will see your life, drenched in the golden light of my favor, and they will know that you are blessed. This is the sunrise I have been preparing for you, and this new light. It does more than just paint the sky. It fundamentally changes the landscape of your life. First, the light brings warmth. You have been shivering for so long in the chilling cold of fear and loneliness. But now, as you turn your face to this rising sun, you feel its warmth begin to penetrate your very bones. It is the warmth of my love, no longer a distant concept, but a sensible, felt reality. It is the warmth of my presence, burning away the last vestiges of the icy fear that has held you captive. This warmth will thaw the frozen places in your heart. It will bring a new, comfortable, and settled peace to your soul. You will no longer have to strive to be warm. You will simply live in the warmth of my constant, radiant affection for you. Second, the light brings clarity. The long night was a time of a disorienting, featureless fog of confusion, but the morning light burns away the mist. As the sun rises higher in the sky of your life, you begin to see with a new clarity the path forward, which was once completely obscured, will now be illuminated. You will see the next step and the one after that. And not only will you see the path forward, but you will also look back at the path you have traveled. And for the first time, you will understand it. In the full light of this new day, the dark and confusing valleys of your past will be seen in their proper context. You will see how the painful detours were actually my loving redirections. You will see how the seasons of waiting were my wise preparations. The why behind your suffering, which has been such a tormenting mystery, will begin to be answered, not with a theological formula, but with the self-evident clarity that the light brings, and the light will reveal the truth about the terrors of the night, the monsters that you so feared in the darkness, the catastrophic what-ifs that haunted your imagination will be revealed in the morning light for what they truly are. Some will be shown to have been nothing but harmless shadows, magnified into monsters by your fear, and others will be revealed to have been my angels, my disguised blessings, which you could not recognize in the gloom. The light will expose the lies of the night and set you free from your old fears. And what of the night dwellers? The cynical voices that told you the dawn would never come. The light is their undoing. They are creatures of the dark, and they cannot bear the brightness of this new day. They will be scattered by the glory of your sunrise. The critics who said your story was over will be silenced by the undeniable evidence of your new chapter. Your vindication will not come from an argument you have with them. Your vindication is the sunrise. It's brilliant, undeniable, and glorious reality is the only answer that is needed. And as the sun climbs higher, it illuminates the full extent of the new landscape I have prepared for you. You will see that your new world is even bigger and more beautiful than you could have imagined from the precipice. You will see the details of the mountains, the richness of the fields, the vibrancy of the city. The light reveals the fullness of the promise. So I invite you today, my child, to step fully into this new day. The time for cowering in the darkness is over. The time for surviving the night is over. This is the first day of your new life. It is the beginning of your season of light. I call you to throw off the grave clothes of your past, the heavy, dark garments of your grief and your fear. And I call you to clothe yourself in the light. Lift your face to the sun. Feel its warmth. Let its light fill your eyes until there's no room for shadows. Open the windows of your soul and let the fresh, clean air of this new morning blow through, cleansing you of the stale atmosphere of the night. This is not a temporary reprieve. This is a permanent shift. The sun that is rising on your life today is the sun of righteousness, and he is rising with healing in his wings. The horizon is no longer in dark and threatening void. The horizon is bright for you, and this is just the beginning. The sun is rising on the horizon of your life. My beloved, the long, desolate night is over, and the brilliant, multicolored dawn of your new day has arrived. The light of my promise has broken through the darkness of your despair. The warmth of my presence is chasing away the chilling cold of your fear. You are standing on the threshold of a new and glorious season, a season of light, of clarity, and of hope. But I, who fashioned your eyes and know the delicate nature of your soul, I see the subtle way you are squinting in this new and brilliant light after so long in the darkness. The brightness of this new day is almost painful. The sheer, glorious intensity of my favor is overwhelming to eyes that have grown accustomed to the gloom. A part of you, a part that has been trained for years in the habits of the night, is tempted to retreat, to find a familiar shadow, to seek the dim comfort of a lesser light. You have prayed for the sunrise, and now that it is here, you find that you do not know how to see in it. Your spiritual eyes are still calibrated for the darkness, and so you ask, my Lord, the light is beautiful, right? But it is so bright. How do I live in it? How do I learn to see again after being blind for so long? This is the question of acclimatization, of learning to inhabit the very miracle you have been given. And it is a journey that requires patience, grace, and a gentle retraining of your spiritual vision. You have been given a new world, and now I will teach you how to see it. We will now begin the process of learning to walk in the morning light. First, we must be honest about the habits of darkness, the ways of seeing and beings you learned as a necessary survival mechanism during your long night. These habits served you then, but they will blind you in this new day if you do now unlearn them. In the darkness, you learned the habit of looking down. You had to. You had to shuffle your feet, your gaze fixed on the ground just in front of you, to avoid stumbling on the unseen roots and rocks. This translated into a spiritual posture of short-term vision. You became an expert in managing the next crisis and surviving the next 24 hours. But you have forgotten how to lift your gaze to the horizon. This habit, if you bring it into the day, will cause you to live your entire glorious new life staring at your own feet, so focused on avoiding the next small stumble that you completely miss the magnificent mountains of purpose that I have set before you. In the fog of confusion, you learned the habit of squinting. You had to peer into the gloom, to strain your eyes, to try and make out the vague, threatening shapes that were moving in the mist. This translated into a spiritual posture of suspicion. You learn to look at every new person, every new opportunity, with a squinting, critical eye, always trying to discern the hidden danger, the potential for pain. This habit, in the new day, will blind you to the beauty of the gifts I am sending you. It will cause you to see a threat in every opportunity and a potential enemy in every new friend. You will be so busy looking for the flaw in the gift that you will miss the grace of it altogether. In the chilling cold of the night, you learn the habit of hiding. The darkness was a place to be invisible, to make yourself small, to avoid attracting the attention of the things that hunted in the night. This translated into a spiritual posture of self-suppression. You learn to hide your gifts, to silence your voice, to conceal your heart, believing that to be fully seen was to be fully vulnerable to attack. This habit, if you carry it into the light, will cause you to live like a shadow in the land I have given you. It will cause you to bury the very treasures I am now asking you to invest. And in the long loneliness of the night, you learn the habit of expecting monsters. Your imagination, unhindered by the clarity of light, populated the darkness with your worst fears. You learn to interpret every unfamiliar sound as a threat, every shadow as a predator. This translated into a spiritual posture of negative expectation. You have trained your heart to expect the worst, to believe that every season of peace is merely the prelude to a new disaster. This habit, in the bright day of my favor, will be a constant torment, a self-imposed cloud that blocks the warmth of the sun that is shining upon you. These are the habits of the night looking down, squinting, hiding, and expecting monsters. They are the habits of a survivor, but I have not called you to merely survive. I have called you to thrive. And so, we must now replace these old, reflexive habits with the new, intentional practices of the light. First, you must learn the practice of lifting your gaze. This is an act of your will, every morning, and 100 times throughout your day. You will feel the old gravitational pull to look down at the problem right in front of your feet. In those moments, you must consciously and deliberately lift your head. Look up. Look out. Look at the bright, beautiful horizon of my promises for you. Instead of fixating on the immediate bill that is due, lift your gaze to the truth that I am your provider, and I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. Instead of obsessing over the difficult conversation you have to have today, lift your gaze to the reality that I've given you, a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. This is not a denial of your problems. It is a refusal to be defined by them. It is a practice of orienting your life not by the small pebbles on your path, but by the great mountains of my purpose on the horizon. Next, you must learn the practice of opening your eyes wide. The season for squinting and suspicion is over. The light of my goodness is now upon you, and I'm asking you to receive it with a wide-eyed, childlike wonder. When a new opportunity comes, resist the old urge to immediately search for the catch. Instead, open your eyes wide and ask, Father, what is the beauty and the grace you are offering me in this when a new person enters your life? Resist the urge to squint at them with suspicion, searching for their flaws. Instead, open your eyes wide and ask me to show you the treasure I have hidden within them. This is the practice. of unlearning cynicism. It is a choice to believe that I am a good father who gives good gifts. It is a willingness to be surprised by joy. As you practice this, your entire world will begin to change. You will begin to see my grace and my beauty in places you were completely blind to before. Then, you must learn the practice of standing in the light. The habit of hiding must be broken. I am calling you now to step out of the shadows of anonymity and into the warm, revealing light of authenticity. This means you must stop pretending. You must stop hiding the beautiful, unique, and even quirky person I have made you to be. It means you must have the courage to share your story, to speak your truth, to let others see the work that I have done in you. I know this feels vulnerable. To be truly seen is to be open to criticism. But you are no longer a resident of the night, where every exposure is a danger. You are a child of the day, and the light of my love is your shield and your protection. To stand in the light is to live an unashamed life, confident in the one who has called you out of darkness and into his marvelous light. Your visibility is not a danger. It is your testimony. And finally, you must learn the practice of expecting goodness. You have spent years training your heart to expect monsters in the dark. Now, you must retrain your heart to expect mercy in the light. This is the great work of renewing your mind. You must consciously begin to look for my goodness in every situation. You must begin to expect my favor. This is not a foolish, blind optimism. It is a robust and confident faith based on my revealed character. You must learn to say, my Father is good. He is for me. Therefore, I will look for his goodness in my day. I expect him to provide. I expect him to guide me. I expect him to turn this difficult situation for my good. When you begin to expect goodness, you will begin to see it everywhere. For my goodness and my mercy have been following you all the days of your life. You have simply been too focused on the monsters in front of you to notice the loving shepherd who is behind you. And this new way of seeing, my child, must extend to how you see others. In the darkness of your own pain, you saw others through a dark lens. You saw their flaws, their weaknesses, their potential to hurt you. But in this new light, I'm giving you a new prescription for your spiritual eyes. I am giving you the ability to see others as I see them. You will begin to look at a difficult person and see not just their behavior, but the wounded child within them. You will begin to see the potential I have placed in them, the gold that is still hidden beneath the lid. This new way of seeing will transform your relationships. It will turn your judgment into compassion. It will turn your fear into love. You will become a person who, by the very way you see others, calls forth the best in them. I know this is a great deal to learn. Adjusting to the light is a process. Your spiritual eyes are like the eyes of a man who has been in a dark cave for many years. When he first steps into the sun, he is blinded. He needs time. He needs to take it slowly. I am a patient teacher. I am not in a hurry. I will walk with you in this new land. And when the light seems too bright and you are tempted to run back to the familiar shadows, I will be there to gently take your hand and say, do not be afraid. Stay with me in the light. Your eyes will adjust. And day by day, as you practice these new ways of seeing, You will find that a light becomes less painful and more beautiful. And soon, you will find that living in the bright, open, and hopeful day of my love feels more natural and more like home than the darkness ever did. Your eyes are adjusting to the glory of this new day. My beloved, you are learning the new and holy habits of the light. You are lifting your gaze to the horizon of my promise, opening your eyes wide to the goodness I am sending you, and learning to stand unashamed in the warm, authentic light of the person I have made you to be. You are learning to expect goodness from your Father. The peace of this new land is becoming your home. But a sun is not lit to shine only upon itself. A great and beautiful lamp is not kindled for its own benefit, but to give light to a whole house. The glorious sunrise that has broken upon the horizon of your life was never intended to be a private spectacle, a miracle for your enjoyment alone. The dawn that I have brought to you is the very same dawn that I now intend to bring through you. You have been a recipient of the light. I am now commissioning you to become a carrier of the dawn. You, who have known the deepest darkness, are now uniquely qualified to be my ambassador to those who are still lost in the night. Your personal sunrise was the prelude to your public purpose. Your healing was your training. Your new beginning is now an invitation to become a source of new beginnings for others. I am inviting you into a partnership with me in the great and glorious work of pushing back the darkness in the world. Your life is no longer just a testimony. It is now a torch. Your story is no longer just your history. It is now a lighthouse. Think of your story, the one we have walked through together, the story of your long, desolate night, of your faithful watch with the morning star, of the breathtaking sunrise that has now come. This story is now a great and powerful lighthouse that I have built upon the rock of your experience. Its purpose is to shine its strong, hopeful beam out into the dark and stormy sea of this world. There are other ships, my child, thousands of them, lost in the very same fog of confusion you once knew, being battered by the very same waves of despair. They believe they are alone, that there is no harbor, that they are destined to be shipwrecked. And then they will see your light. They will see the light of your story. And for the first time, they will have a fixed point of hope in the darkness. Your story will not calm their storm, but it will give them a direction. It will prove to them that a safe harbor exists. Your testimony, the honest telling of where you have been and what I have done, will be the beam of light that guides countless others home, and your very presence, now so filled with the warmth and the light of my spirit, has become a torch. You have been so saturated with the light of my new day that you have begun to radiate it. When you walk into a room that is filled with the cold and the gloom of fear or cynicism, you do not have to say a word. You bring the light with you, your quiet peace, your gentle hope, your unshakable joy. These things will begin to change the atmosphere. The darkness will have to recede, for it cannot coexist with the light that is now emanating from you. You have become a walking, talking piece of the dawn, a carrier of the day in a world that is still lost in the night. So, how do you live out this new and holy commission? How do you become a carrier of the dawn? It is not a complicated strategy. It is the natural outflow of the person you have become. It begins, paradoxically, with learning to see the darkness again, but you will see it with new eyes. Before, you were in the darkness, and it was a terrifying, all-consuming reality. Now, you stand in the light, and you can look at the darkness from a place of safety and compassion. I'm giving you a new kind of night vision. It is the ability to see the pain, the fear, and the confusion in others, not with judgment, but with profound and knowing empathy. You will now be on the lookout for the night dwellers, for those who are still living in the very same shadows you once inhabited. You will recognize them instantly. You will see it in their eyes. You will hear it in their voice. And you will not be afraid of their darkness, for you know that it holds no power over you anymore. These people are your divine assignment. When you approach them, you must remember the art of the sunrise. The sun does not rise in an instant, blinding everyone with its full glory. It begins gently. So, your first offering to one who is in the cold darkness must not be the blinding light of your truth, but the gentle warmth of your compassion. Remember what it felt like to be cold, to be shivering in fear. The first thing you longed for was not a lecture, but a blanket. Your loving, non-judgmental presence will be that blanket. Before you offer them a map, you must first sit with them in their darkness. Before you give them the answer, you must first listen to their questions. You must lead with the warmth of empathy, creating a safe space for them to be honest about their night. This is the ministry of the gentle dawn. And once the bridge of trust has been built with the warmth of your compassion, then you will share your most powerful tool, the story of your own sunrise. You will not preach at them. You will not give them a list of rules to follow. You will simply give them the greatest gift. You have your testimony. You will learn to say the beautiful words. I know this darkness you are in. I have lived there. It felt to me like it would never end. But let me tell you what the God of the morning did for me. And you will tell your story. You will be honest about the depth of your own despair, so that they know you understand. And then you will be glorious in your story. Anywhere. And goodbye past intellectual business and speak directly. You'll give them some and give Fortunately, the Son of Righteousness, your power is not in yourself, but in your orientation. Your one great work is to keep your own face turned toward me. If you ever turn away from me and begin to believe that you are the source of your own light, your light will begin to fade. You will become a cold, dark moon the temptation, when people begin to be drawn to your light, will be to make it about you, to take the credit, to build your own small kingdom. But a wise carrier of the dawn knows that their only job is to point away from themselves and to the rising sun. You must always be quick to say, "The light you see in me is not my own. It is a reflection of the one who brought me out of the darkness. Let me introduce you to him." This posture of humble reflection is what will keep your light pure, bright, and ever increasing. And as you practice this beautiful ministry of light bearing, you will witness the multiplication of the dawn when you bring the light of hope to one soul, and they begin their own journey out of darkness. They too will become a carrier of the dawn, and they will bring the light to another. Who will bring it to another? Your single, personal sunrise will become the catalyst for a chain reaction of dawning, a movement of my spirit that will push back the darkness in your family, your community, and your world in ways you cannot even imagine. This is the great and joyful purpose of your life in this new season. It is to move from being a consumer of the light to being a conduit of it. So look around you, my child. The world is dark, but you are a child of the day. And the darkness is not something to be feared. It is your divine assignment. It is the canvas upon which you will now paint with the brilliant colors of my light. I'm sending you now as my ambassador of the dawn. Go and find the ones who are still lost in the night. Offer them the warmth of your compassion. Tell them the story of your own sunrise, and reflect the light of my love so brightly that they too will be able to look to the horizon and believe, for the first time, that the horizon is bright for them. Too, you are now a carrier of the dawn. My beloved, you have taken the light that I have given you, and you are beginning to share it, to spread it, to become a living sunrise for those who are still lost in the shadows. You are learning the profound joy that comes not just from receiving the light, but from becoming a conduit for it. This is the great and beautiful work of your new season, your new day. But even as you walk in the brightness of this new beginning, a lifetime of experience has taught you a simple, earthly truth. Every day is followed by a night. Every sunrise, no matter how glorious, eventually gives way to a sunset. And so, a part of your heart may still live in fear of the next darkness, the next trial, the next season of sorrow. And so, for this final chapter of our time together, I must lift your gaze beyond the horizon of this world to the horizon of eternity. For the bright new day you are now experiencing on earth is but a single, beautiful shadow of the reality that awaits you. It is a foretaste, a promise, a glorious prelude to the ultimate day for which you were created. I must tell you of the promise of an endless day. On this earth, your journey will continue to have its rhythms. There will be seasons of brilliant midday sun, and there will be seasons of long evening shadows. There will be moments of cloudless clarity, and there may be future storms that temporarily obscure the light. But the fundamental difference is this: you will now face those shadows and those storms not as a child of the night who fears being consumed, but as a child of the day who knows with an unshakable certainty that the sun is always shining, even when it is hidden by the clouds. Your core reality has shifted from darkness to light. But the ultimate hope I have for you is not just a life where you endure the darkness, but a life where darkness has ceased to exist altogether. The bright horizon you now see is the shoreline of your earthly promise. But I am calling you to look beyond it, to the infinite, shimmering ocean of eternity, for you are a citizen of another country, a resident of a kingdom where there's no need for a sun or moon to shine upon it, for the glory of God himself is its light, and the Lamb is its lamp. This is your true home. This is your ultimate destiny. And in that land, there's no night. Think of what this means. My child, no more darkness of grief, for all tears will be wiped away. No more fog of confusion, for you will see face to face, and you will know fully, even as you are fully known. No more chilling cold of fear, for perfect love casts out all fear, and you will dwell in the heart of perfect love for all eternity. No more isolation of the night, for you will be part of a great and joyful multitude from every tribe and tongue and nation, a family united in the glorious light of my presence. Everything that has characterized your long night on earth will be banished forever, and the horizon in that new land on earth, a horizon is a limit. It is the end of what you can see, but in the kingdom of unending light. The horizon is not a limit, but a constant, ever-expanding invitation. It is the promise that there is always more of my goodness to discover, more of my beauty to behold, more of my love to experience. Your eternal life will not be a static state of being, but a dynamic, thrilling, and unending journey into the infinite landscape of who I am. It will be an adventure of endless, joyful discovery. The light you are now experiencing is but a single ray from that eternal sun. And the purpose of this earthly new beginning is to prepare you, to strengthen you, to commission you for your eternal role in that land of unending light. You were trained in the dark to become a carrier of the dawn on earth. And you are being trained in this earthly dawn to become a unique and glorious expression of my light for all of eternity. You will not just be a passive observer of my glory. You will be a part of it. The unique way that I have brought you out of your specific darkness. The specific colors of the sunrise I have painted in your life. This will be your unique story, your unique song, your unique radiance for all time. You will shine with a color and intensity that no one else can, for no one else has a story exactly like yours. You are destined to be a living, breathing jewel, refracting the light of my glory in a way that only you can. And the new beginning you are living in now, it is the down payment. It is the unbreakable promise. It is the first fruits of your eternal inheritance. Every moment of joy you feel now, every victory you win, every soul you touch with my light, these are all foretastes of the eternal reality that is already yours in principle and will one day be yours in full experience. This truth secures your hope forever. It gives your present reality an eternal significance. Your life now is not just a fleeting vapor. It is a dress rehearsal for eternity. It is a training ground for your eternal reign. The ways of the light you are learning now, the ways of hope, of love, of faith, are the very ways of your homeland. The language of heaven you are learning to speak before you arrive. So how shall you live out the remainder of your days on this earth? In the light of this glorious, eternal truth, you shall live with a profound and peaceful courage. You can face the remaining shadows and the potential future storms of this life without fear, for you know they are temporary. You know that they have no power to extinguish the sun, and that they cannot follow you into your eternal home. You shall live with a magnificent and joyful purpose. You can pour yourself out as a carrier of the dawn, lavishing my hope and my love on a dark and dying world, because you're not drawing from a finite, earthly well. You are a conduit connected to the infinite ocean of my eternal light. You can never run dry. Your life is no longer a desperate struggle for survival in the night. It is a joyful and adventurous pilgrimage toward a sunrise that will never set. You are walking home, my child, and the horizon before you is not just bright. It is the beginning of an endless and glorious day. And now, my child of the day, my beloved light bearer, let the vast and cosmic scope of eternity settle into a gentle and personal whisper in your heart. The journey is grand, but my love for you is intimate and close. Come now and rest. You have stood the long watch in the night. You have witnessed the glorious breaking of the dawn. You have begun your journey in the new day. You can rest now, not in the exhausted sleep of a survivor, but in the peaceful, sun-drenched repose of a secure and beloved child. Let my peace be the gentle warmth on your skin. Let my love be the clean, fresh air you breathe. The long winter is over. The spring has come, and an eternal summer awaits. There's nothing left to fear. The night has lost its power. The light has won, and you are a child of the light. Rest in the beautiful, simple, and profound truth of your reality now. The darkness is behind you. The light is upon you, and the land of unending light is before you. You are safe. You are loved, and your future is brighter than 1,000 suns. Sleep now, my beloved. Sleep in the warmth and the peace of your new and endless day.